So we can wait for 2 minutes so that the viewers can also join in once.
Login. Pat, 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 pat.
Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Farmina Nutrition Hour. Today we are going to uh, talk on a topic which is about a lifestyle disease, obesity. I am Dr. Anish Pillai, vet manager for Farmina Pet Foods, and with me is one of the leading practitioners in India, Dr. Pradeep Rana. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, Dr. Rana, he is a graduate from Hebbal Veterinary College in Bangalore, and he is also a member of ISVS, which is Indian Society of Veterinary Surgeons. And for the past 30 years, he is into small animal practice. It's almost 3 decades. It's a pleasure that you are here, sir.
Okay.
So I just wanted to, I'm just as a vet, I am just curious to know how your practice has evolved in these 3 decades, and how the pet ownership has also evolved.
Okay, when we started our practice, it used to be a single man show generally throughout the country.
Okay.
We, I still remember we had only two products, commercially available products dedicated to canines. There
Okay,
were
sir.
there was a shampoo, a tick shampoo, and there was a tick powder. And well, yes, there were a few biscuits as well.
Biscuits. Okay, sir.
Yes, dog biscuits as well. Uh, those days were the days when we had to convince clients that look, your doggy has parvovirus. It needs to be given treatment in the form of drips. People used to be surprised. There were also days when we had to convince people to get a blood test done, and people were surprised that dogs का blood sample blood test भी होता है. Those were the days. Now, in fact, it's just the opposite. People want all the tests. In a way, that's good because most of them are well educated. They can go onto the net, read about certain conditions, and get their differentials cleared up as far as the diagnosis is concerned. So we don't have to convince them. All we got to do now is to tell them that look, I think these are the tests that we require, these are the tests we don't require.
Yes.
So we've gone from that extent to this extent, availability of commercial products. There was not a single pet food during those times. Now you have such a cutthroat competition in dog food business that so there has been a sea of a change, but an interesting a very positive change. Uh, otherwise
Actually,
we
the technology has also developed. The mentality of a pet parent has also developed. So I am into this industry from the past 12 years, sir. So when I started my career, so most of the time the pets were meant. There were pets at homes, and most of the time it was for as a watchdog or a security dog. But nowadays it is just like it is a member of a family. It is like a member of a family. So
that's the reason why companion animal practices the name has come up. It's a
yes,
companion animal practice.
yes, exactly, sir. Sir, just moving into the topic, I just wanted to understand, sir. Sir, in developing countries and in the developed countries, we know that
Mhm.
obesity is a biggest threat among human mankind. Okay, so but a recent survey on the pet health also says that 50% of the pets, both dogs and cats, they are obese, I just wanted to know your opinion. Is there any connection between obesity in human beings, our lives, our sedentary lifestyle, with the lifestyle of a pet?
See, obviously, there is a drastic change as far as the lifestyle of a pet is concerned. These days, pets are so close to humans that they try to mimic us. If we are lazy, they tend to get lazy. If we are outgoing, they tend to be more outgoing. Uh, there has been a drastic change as far as obesity is concerned. Probably in the past 15 years, I've seen this happening. The dogs are getting proper nutrition, maybe in excess. You have good diets available. You have, unfortunately, smaller household units. The Most of the dogs are staying in flats, very few in bungalows, and even fewer in the farmhouses where they can get enough exercise. So, because
Mhm.
of lack of physical activities and good nutrition, obesity has also come up not only in humans but with the pets as well.
Mm. So that is the most astonishing part, sir. More than 50%. The survey says more than 50%. So that is going to be a quite high number. Sir, what would be the reasons, sir? What would be the common reasons for obesity in pets?
Very simple, good nutrition. In fact, probably overfeeding the doggies. A lot of tidbits, treats have come in. They add up to the bulk, uh, and somehow lack of knowledge as far as the pet owners are concerned. They associate love with giving the pets treats. So that barrier somehow has to be broken down. Food and love are two different things. They should not be combined. So, and we know dogs can make nice faces. They can beg you for treats. They can
Exact,
beg you for things. They
ex-
can become very demanding as well. Uh, and these are the things that one will have to keep in mind to control as far as the obesity is concerned. But they should also, the pet should also get enough exercise. If they do not, a lot of problems are going to be coming up, and they've already come up in certain breeds like Labradors. I find every second Labrador is obese.
Exactly the same thing, sir. I have also seen a few cases like this
Mhm.
with my friends and in my family also. There are few relatives who have pets. So they always say, I always advise them to, I try to give them, calculate them a ration. So you have to give this much feed and only this feed. So, but whenever I ask them after a week, when I do a follow up, they always say, "Arey, what to do? Whenever we have our lunch or when we have our dinner, the dog comes and sits like this, very sad. So I don't know what to do. I feel pity on that particular this creature, and hence we end up giving in small quantities, only small quantities. But
Yeah,
these small quantities, it gets added up every day.
emotional blackmail. These dogs are very smart.
So actually, emotional feeding is also a reason, I think, for obesity in pets, right, sir?
Certainly, certainly, certainly. That's a
Sir,
very
uh, and one more thing, sir. When we talk about obesity, so in India, particularly India, we avoid that word obesity most of the times. So in when we talk with another person also, if a person is little bit pulpy, little overweight, so we tell them, we always try to mention him as healthy person. That person is healthy. So we never say him as overweight or obese. So I have also seen the same thing applied to a pet also. So
exactly.
yeah. So I just wanted to know, sir, how can you identify how can you identify whether your pet is obese or overweight?
Okay, there's a very simple formula that you can implement. Let's say a breed, for example, let's say a Labrador. I'm just quoting an example. We take a Labrador. If a Labrador, an adult Labrador is supposed to weigh anything between 33, 34 kilos. Anything that is over 20% of this weight
Hmm.
is obesity,
Okay.
right? So they still give you the 20% margin that look, if my doggy is 37 kilos, the warning bells have to start ringing that you got
Hmm.
to bring the weight down. I
Hmm.
have
Hmm.
some
Hmm.
labs coming to me who are as much as 60 kilos
Hmm.
plus.
Hmm.
I mean, I just don't understand the logic. Then they come to us and tell us that, look, my dog can't walk, my dog has got breathing issues, my dog has got this, my dog has got that. I want him to be okay. Now, where do you start? So that is 20% above the recommended body weight is obesity.
Okay, sir.
And there are a number of charts uh, available. You need not even weigh them if you uh, don't have the weighing scale. You can always do the BCS, the body condition score, in which you can easily check out the chest of the doggy should be more than the waist of the doggy. And when you run your hand through the ribs, you're supposed to not feel enough fat, you're supposed to feel the rib. That's very important.
Okay, sir. Sir, as a pet parent, how often should they weigh their dog?
See, normally when you go to a vet for a checkup, that's the best time when you can weigh your dog at intervals and you can get a kind of score or a kind of a gain or loss in the body weight. Normally, you go to a vet ordinarily probably 3 times a year, maximum
Okay, sir.
4 times a year.
Okay, sir.
4 times a year will give you a good average that look, in January my doggy was 12 kilos. Now it has turned out to be 16 kilos. So what's wrong?
So, and similarly, sir, people always have a doubt on the exact, a correct body weight of a particular breed. So, because if you look into Google, so for a
Mm.
German Shepherd, there are n number of papers, not papers, on Google search, you can get one Google search saying that an average body weight of a German Shepherd is 30 kilo. And in one it says 40 kilo, and one it says 45 kilo. Which one, how to select that, sir?
Okay, now I would rather look at it in a different way.
Okay,
You do have German Shepherds who are a little smaller. You do
okay.
have German Shepherds who are heavy bone, big structure.
Hmm.
So comparing the two would be wrong.
Okay.
So there your BCS, the body score, comes into play.
Body condition score, yes, sir.
Body condition score that comes into play. So there the weight goes out of the window, the weighing
Okay.
scale, right? So run your hand through. You're supposed to feel the rib cage. Your doggy is not supposed to have a paunch. You're in the right zone then.
Okay. Okay, sir. So we will take up few questions, sir.
Okay.
So first question is from Miss Shweta Vich. Have a lab of 6 years and is on obese side. So a small request to all the viewers while posting a question, please give an exact data. You can tell us the breed, you can tell us the age, you can tell us the weight of the dog, and you can also mention the neutered, whether the pet is neutered or not. So your comment, sir, for this?
Okay. Number one, she should have her pet examined for either a thyroid, hypothyroidic condition,
Hmm.
or Cushing's. If there are any symptoms, tell the doctor should examine that. If those are clear, think in terms of an exercise program or diet program to control the weight. We just want to rule out a medical cause which would have to be treated medically, or a nutritional cause or a lifestyle cause. If it is a
Yeah.
lifestyle issue, sort the lifestyle issue separately. If it is a health issue, take care of the health issue first.
Okay.
So I
So, Ms.
think
Shweta, yeah, you can continue, sir.
what she should do is she should have a health checkup done. If there are any abnormal symptoms, if the doggy is feeling very cold, wants to sit in the sun, is lazy, cold conditions, etc. Then the doctor would think in terms of hypothyroidism, and probably conduct some tests. So I think a visit to the vet would definitely help understand if there's a medical cause to it. Yeah.
Yes. So, Ms. Shweta, the answer from Dr. Rana is that you have to find out whether it is there is a nutritional cause or whether there are any other pathologies involved. So, go to your vet, please check your vet and find out what is the reason for the obesity of this particular.
Also, if the doggy is being neutered, we really got to keep this in mind. When the animal is neutered, the metabolism slows down by about 30%.
Yes,
So
sir.
we have to reduce the diet accordingly once they are neutered. Otherwise, we will have obese dog, irrespective of us giving the same kind of diet before or after neutering.
Okay. Yes. So, there is another question from Miss Mala Durarajan. What could be the result of obesity in dogs?
Very simple. The doggy will have respiratory issue, will have orthopedic issues, is prone to diabetes, is prone to so many other problems, including tumors. Certain
Mhm.
tumors are also obesity related. So one will have to keep all these things in mind, because if the doggy is of middle age, control it now. Otherwise, once the osteoarthritis or any orthopedic issues have started, they will only deteriorate further as the age advances.
Mhm.
So the result of obesity are very simple. That respiratory issue, the dog will be panting, can't do enough exercise, will go for a short walk, come home, is just going to flop down, uh, and the other associated orthopedic issues, which one really got to be very careful about, because orthopedic issues are directly proportionate to
To the
the
weight.
dog. Yeah.
Oh, so we will pick another question that is from Miss Kanika Talwar. She is asking, "Hello, doctor. I have a 6-year Cocker Spaniel male. He has put on extreme weight after castration, especially around his hips. He refuses to be on vegetarian diet. How can we help?" Interesting question.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. That after neutering, the pet, uh, in fact,
She
we
has,
have.
sir, she
Sorry.
has also added he weighs around 22 to 23 kgs.
Well, yeah, it should be around 15, 16. Okay. As I was just telling a few minutes back, that neutering slows the metabolism in a pet. So hence the nutrition would have to be controlled. The food intake, the calorie intake would have to be controlled. It's a very important factor that you got to keep in mind. Also, the neutered dog should do enough exercise so as to have the metabolism get back to somewhere around normal. So this will have to be a combination of nutrition and the physical activities. So Shweta will have to take care as far as the diet is concerned. Now she's saying that my doggy is not liking vegetarian food.
Vegetarian diet, yes.
Yes. Now dogs are opportunistic carnivores. They will bargain with you. If you raise your hands up first, then you have given up. So she
And
will have to. I mean,
I
she will
have
have some amount of non-vegetarian, some amount of veg in the diet. There are certain commercial dog foods available. that she can try. So she would have a number of options to take care of them.
So I have seen, sir, for some pets, they always want their pet parent to force feed them.
No, no, no. I call this. I have a code for this. A
Huh.
quotation is LP syndrome, which is nothing but lard pyar syndrome. You know, people pamper them to the core, and of course, my lord, the pet, expect people to be dancing around him, singing, feeding him, spoon feeding him. I always tell a new pet owner when they come with the puppy for vaccination that please, please do not make them your masters. They'll make you run around otherwise. The pet should behave like a pet, not like your master.
Hmm.
Excessive amount of pampering is just not right, health wise, emotion wise. Imagine tomorrow if this same person who is hand feeding the pet has to go out of station for any rhyme or reason. There may be an emergency, may have to go. The pet is going to starve, isn't it? Because
Yes.
the pet is so used to this particular habit that look, my owner is not there. First of all, he'll sulk because the uh, person who feeds him, he's not there or she's not there, and over that, the hand feeding uh, habit, which will affect the doggy in a bad way. Many people do this, yeah, but it's a
Yes.
bad habit. of people.
So for the viewers, force feeding is not a good thing for your pet. It is a vices.
Right?
And sir, yeah, I just wanted to understand, sir, what are the common problems you see in your day-to-day practice, especially in puppies, when the puppy is an obese?
See, having a obese puppy, the puppy will look very cute. I've seen puppies. I've got just recently a few puppies. There's one Shih Tzu which I've got. His knee joints were flying out. I mean, with great difficulty with taping, we had to set them right. But the puppy was so fat, I would say, had so much of abdominal fat that it was really not funny. So you had to tell the people that, look, you got to take care of the diet. Don't overfeed a puppy. The joints are still growing. They can't take the weight at this young age. Uh, so I think probably we as vets have to educate the client that look, love and food are two different things. Don't ever combine them. Yeah.
Yes. So we will take up a question, sir. So the question is from Miss Kaur. She is asking, should we feed raw chicken to our dogs over cooked chicken? So she have added again, hello doc. My dog is 8 years old, 8 years indie, suffering from diabetes. So this is a great question. He is heavy and also on insulin. Can he be completely be cured and insulin be removed, or is a lifetime maintenance? Thanks.
Okay. There are certain conditions, certain diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, cardiac ailments, thyroid issues. You cannot cure them completely, but you can manage them. Manage them two ways. Number one, right kind of lifestyle. Number two, the medication. As far as the diabetes one is concerned, I think what she should start doing is she should get the weight down because the more the adipose tissues around the pancreas and the abdomen, so our friend is going to definitely have a tough time. So weight control has to be done, sugar will have to be monitored with regular checkups Also check out the kidneys, etc. So I don't think the doggy is going to go off insulin ever.
Hmm.
She may have to reduce the dosage of insulin subsequently, depending on how well she's able to control the diabetes.
So I just wanted to ask, sir.
So she
So
was also
she
asking
is
about.
raw chicken to her dogs, and the
Mhm.
dog is also diabetic. Is it the right feed she is feeding? What are the other things which she should check while feeding to her puppy, for feeding her dog?
Okay, no raw chicken or cooked chicken. I think to be on the safer side, I would always cook it because cooking would kill most of the pathogens, most of the infections uh, there that would have otherwise been there. Now, raw chicken, as long as the source of it is good, if it is fresh, then maybe that's not a bad idea. But it also depends on from where the chicken has come.
Hmm.
Is the chicken prone to salmonella? Is it been prone to cocci or whatever it is? So if it is being reared in a healthy way, then raw chicken may not be a bad idea. But I don't think that's going to be an option, especially keeping our weather condition in mind that during summers you leave raw cooked chicken or raw food outside, meat outside, it's going to get rotten very fast. So I don't think raw chicken, I would not favor feeding of raw chicken as such.
Okay. So, and if she is going to feed only chicken for her pet, a
No,
diabetic pet, is
no,
that
no,
sufficient, sir?
no, no.
Okay.
Then you're creating an overload of proteins, and that overload of proteins is going to hit the kidneys sooner than later. She should give the right amount of carbs. Of course, in a diabetic individual, the carbohydrate content in the diet is going to be lesser, the fat is going to be lesser, fibers have to be more in the diet. So, vegetables are an important part, or the commercial diets are very important part. So, she will have to, she just cannot feed it raw chicken or
Mhm.
even cooked chicken. She will have to use other fibrous food along with it.
Mhm.
Otherwise, there's going to be an imbalanced diet.
Okay. So, Ms. Kaur, the answer from Dr. Rana is that this feeding only chicken is not going to be a solution, and it is not a complete food for your pet. So here, the important thing is that the glucose release should be very slow, and hence your pet may need high fiber.
That's
I
true.
will take one more
Fiber
question, sir.
also fiber
Yeah.
also plays a very important role in controlling the blood sugar level.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So one more question, sir. So Mr. Mayank, he has asked, what's the best homemade food for my golden retrievers, 5 month old?
This is a very interesting question. I'll tell you why. I ask you, you're from Kerala, what would be a good, you would say ragi, veggies, probably a little chicken. You ask a Bengali, will tell you something different. You ask a Sardarji, will tell you something different. So I think the local ingredients that are available in those regions should be put to maximum use, but
Mhm.
then they should have proper amount of proteins, carbs, and your fats in the diet. So the active ingredients are just going to vary from place to place.
Place to place.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Sir, we talked a lot about nurturing.
Uh,
So, nurturing, you told that we have to decrease the food or the requirement by 30%. The energy requirement comes down. So, when can we do nurturing, sir? When can we do nurturing for a pet dog or a cat?
Okay, my personal view is that you should allow the doggy to grow up completely as far as
Mhm.
physical, as far as the physical growth is concerned. Why I say that is the first point I came up earlier was by neutering you can make the doggy put on weight. If I have a year-old, let's say a German Shepherd who has been neutered, and I'm finding him to be 40 kilos, I mean, I'm not going to be comfortable about it. Also, we got to keep in mind that the hormones are required by the body for the development of bones, the ligaments, tendons, etc. My personal opinion is when the doggy is over 1.5, 2 years, then think in terms of neutering. The more you can postpone it, the better it is. We have also seen with females that you neuter early and they have a typical condition called urinary incontinence.
Hmm.
I find that the incidence of urinary incontinence is far more when they are neutered at an early age. When you do it at a later age, it's the incidence is very minimal. Because if your pet has urinary incontinence, believe you me, it's such a pain that the owner says that look, I got to just keep wiping the urine of my doggy. My doggy doesn't even realize it's so sad, it's so pathetic, right? So as far as males are concerned, they do need those hormones for the growth of their bones, ligaments, etc. So anything over 1.5 years, the better. Not at a
So
very young.
during this period, how will you help a pet parent to choose the food? What type of food will you prefer for a neutered pet, sir?
For a neutered pet,
Yes, sir.
obviously the calorie content has to fall down.
Okay, sir.
Very important. Or reduce the diet by about 30%,
So,
25%.
if we are giving a maintenance diet, reduce it by 30 percentage, or you can give a low calorie diet, right, sir?
Yeah. You also have the low energy diets available.
Huh.
Commercial diets, low energy diets available. You also have now a new classification of neutered doggy commercial diets that are available. So the options are quite a bit that are
Hmm.
there for the clients.
Okay. So, neuter, you as you mentioned, that problem would be because of some hormonal imbalance, right, sir?
Yeah. The
Yeah. So,
metabolism slows down. Since the
okay.
metabolism slows down, see, metabolism is controlled by your hormones,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, estrogen
Metabolism is
and
controlled by
testosterone.
your hormones.
Yeah.
So when you neuter them, due to the hormonal thing, the metabolism slows down, resulting in obesity.
Okay.
So diet control is very important. Exercise is again very important. My observation is, you know what, we have dogs in the West, for example, are neutered. 100% of them are neutered. Uh, but the pet owners there are very responsible people. They make sure that the doggy does not gain weight. The moment they begin to find is the pet is gaining weight, they start working on it. Whereas we tend to postpone that. Okay, look, she's just been spayed or he's just been neutered. Poor fellow is recovering. So let's give him good food. Good food will mean more food, and ultimately,
He's
we are,
little bit sad, so you can add up more food.
yeah, ultimately we are hurting our pet.
Uh,
Yeah.
Sir, so you mentioned about activities. You mentioned
Mhm.
about increasing activities in case of dogs. So
Mhm.
nowadays, the cat population is also growing up.
Definitely,
Yeah. So and obesity in cats is also growing up. So what
definitely.
would be your advice for your cat for the cat parents?
See,
We have neutered food, but how to increase the activities, sir?
Okay, now as far as cats are concerned, there is a restriction as far as activities are concerned. That is a practical issue with
Yes.
them. So that is not going to be a major part of the weight control. Diet is going to be a major part of weight control in cat. Also, we see that cats which have put on a lot of weight, the reason may not be only nutrient, but also the hormonal issues. So, a proper diagnosis as far as the thyroid is concerned, the blood sugars are concerned, the cortisol levels are concerned, they have to be also kept in mind because obesity can happen at any age. Diet and exercise are a part of the causes, but we do have other causes like hypothyroidism, etc., Cushing's, which result in the pet putting on weight.
Right, sir. Right. So now we will pick up a question, sir. So
Mhm.
the question is from Sayesha Dayal.
Mhm.
What would be a good diet for an obese indie dog weighing 38 kgs, 8 years old, and how many meals a day?
38 kgs and an indie. We do have a WWF champion. Okay.
Super
Now,
obese, I think.
yes, he has been neutered as well, is it? I guess so.
She has not mentioned
She has not
about
mentioned.
nutrition.
Okay. Okay. Uh, a good diet would involve at least 25% reduction in the present meal structure that she's giving. Offer no tidbits in between. Feed only 2 times a day and build up an exercise program for the pet over a platform. Please, on the first day, don't make your dog go for very long walks, otherwise, the dog will hate walks.
She has added that he is neutered.
He's neutered, so definitely
Yes.
that's going to be adding up to the whole dimension. So, again, the nutrition, as far as the nutrition is concerned, cut down the diet by 25%, start increasing the activities. Fortunately, the weather now is good. The doggies can be taken for walks, but gradually build up the exercise program. Do not be over enthusiastic about exercise program and make him run or uh, do extensive workouts straight away. His body has to get used to it. The muscles have to get used to it, and the doggy will love doing exercise ultimately. And result of both of this is going to be reduction in the weight. The dog is going to be far more healthier. The dog is going to be pain free. The dog is going to be more active.
Sir, we are telling that it should be nutritionally also we should take care and we should also increase the activities. So, in your opinion, sir, if a pet is obese, it is almost more than 20 percentage of its actual body weight. So,
Mhm.
how long they should continue the food? Means if they are giving an obesity diet or if they are giving a calorie restriction, how long they should continue this diet and how long this activity level should go, and once it reaches the normal targeted body weight, then what should be the next?
Okay, in her case, let me just put it this way. This doggy has been neutered.
Yes,
So
sir.
obviously the metabolism is always going to be slow. Number
uh,
one.
hmm.
Exercises are always welcome. They will always keep your pets, their cardiovascular system will be good, their locomotor system is going to be good, muscles are going to be strong.
Hmm.
So exercise is only and only going to give good benefit to the pet. As far as the diet is concerned, the moment your doggy has achieved the target, and of course, here keeping one thing in, I mean, one should keep one thing in mind, a very important thing in mind, and that is the doggy should not drastically lose body weight. A
Hmm.
drastic reduction in body weight is certainly not a healthy option. We have to make the pet lose weight in a gradual way. If her doggy loses, let's say, 1.5 kilos a month, excellent. So that's a good target to follow.
Okay. So,
And
can
yeah,
we say, sir, 1 to 2% per month or per week, something like that? How much? What is a healthy thing? How much they should lose of weight?
okay. Now I was just speaking about her doggy, which is 28 kilos of an
38
Indian.
kilos.
38 kilos.
Yes.
Oh, 38 is then you got to really work on it. Then 2 kilos a month, uh, that you got to start working, because an Indie should weigh approximately 22 kilos. Should not weigh more than that. And 38 kilos is nearly double the weight, which is very unhealthy. So 2 kilos a month, I think, is a fairly healthy target for her, and it is achievable. She should continue with the exercise throughout his life. Good. His 8 years, he'll need the exercise. They'll come handy in his old age. He'll have stronger muscles. He'll have good joints. And once the weight is under control, once the doggy achieves, let's say, 22, 24 kilos, maintain him on that particular weight. Manipulate the diet at that particular time when he has achieved that weight, and keep the weight under check.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So I will just take one more question, sir. Uh, so she have already asked the question. You may remember she was feeding. She was asking whether we can feed raw chicken over a cooked chicken. Her pet is also diabetic.
Mhm.
So she has continued. Dog, I have always had an apprehension that processed dog food is high in fat and also dehydrating for our fur babies. My dog died of kidney failure and had been fed on processed food all his life. Could it be the culprit?
Okay, now let me go back to the days when I started my practice. The patients, even then, were having kidney failure, and believe me, there was not a single pet food available in the market those days. And the incidence of kidney failures then was also very high among the geriatric doggies. Uh, there could also be the other causes for kidney failure, like chronic kidney infections, autoimmune conditions, etc., etc. So the diet, I don't think, is the one that is responsible for the kidney failure. Now, coming to a practical point, when people say that I don't like to give my doggy dog food, I don't promote dog food, but at the same time, I tell them that, look, you have apprehension, you have an apprehension as far as the diet is concerned, that it has preservatives. Let me put it this way, that the vegetables that we eat, what is the load of pesticides and insecticides in them, in the wheat, in the rice? I mean, in our country, the things that we get for our uh, for us to eat are loaded with insecticides, pesticides, so many chemicals. They too would be having adverse impact on the health. So that logic, somehow, I'm not convinced about that the pet food is responsible for kidney failure. I know the net is web is a very good area where everybody puts in their thoughts, but I think not everything there is true. Now, as far as her stating that the doggy would get dehydrated because of eating dry dog food, no, keep the water available. There's no creature on earth which would refuse to drink water if it is thirsty. If it is available there, the doggy will immediately eat. according to the requirement. So I don't think dehydration, unless we withdraw the water from the pets, then that would either way result in dehydration.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So one question from Mr. Saxena. Hello,
Mhm.
Dr. Rana and Dr. Anish. My pet is over 4 years and weigh around 40 kg. Is it fine but gets skin problems very frequently? Mr. Saxena, I would request you to just tell us which breed you have. So, when we were talking about hormonal issues, hormonal things related to obesity. Sir, can you give us some examples or what are the different conditions? So, nutritionally, if they overfeed, they can become obese, we know. But what are the other reasons for obesity? What are the other diseases which can cause obesity?
Okay, other two important ones are hypothyroidism, in which again the metabolism slows down, and
Yes, sir.
uh, the doggy begins to to convert the nutrition into body fat. The other one is your Cushing's disease, in which your either adrenal or the pituitary gland is producing more of steroids. The doggy wants
Steroid.
to eat more, drink more, thereby putting on weight. So these two would be a very common condition in which the doggy is going to put on weight as far as the medical reasons are concerned.
Sir, I have seen frequent questions from pet parents uh, whose pets whose pets have thyroid problems, and when there is a thyroid problem, there will be the pet will be obese, as well as there will be skin issues also. So,
Definitely.
so how as a pet parent, how should they take care, sir? What are the things which they should remember?
Okay, one very important thing that look, please have a blood test done, have a canine specific thyroid profile evaluated. If it is hypothyroidic, have him treated and half the problem will be over. So I think they will have to go to the vet, have the thyroid test done, get the blood sugar level checked. If they have to do the cortisol or low dose dexamethasone test for the Cushing's, they should do that. It would need a visit to the vet, and these basic feedback would be required to follow it
Okay.
up.
So, Mr. Saxena, he has replied that his pet is a Labrador. So, he was mentioning it is 40 kgs body weight and it is getting frequent skin problems. So, he
Yes.
was just adding, is the skin problem due to hypothyroidism?
There is a possibility skin problem can be due to hypothyroidism. Skin problem can also be due to allergies. Now, allergens could be the dietary allergens, or the allergens could be the environmental ones. Of course, the skin parasites, fleas, scabies, etc., those will have to be ruled out.
So, we have to do a proper skin test so that we have to diagnose what could be the possibility for the skin problem. Then only we would be able to answer your question, right, sir?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, hypothyroidism will cause obesity. Hypothyroidism will also predispose the dog to have skin problems. But these need not be only and only due to these two conditions. You got to keep in mind the allergens, etc., and the diet, the lifestyle of the doggy. So one will have to take a comprehensive view of. One will have to see the whole picture. That look where the problem is and start fixing it up there.
So we have another interesting question. So
Mhm.
this is from Miss Mitra. She's asking, my lab, 5 months old, is 21 kgs. Is he overweight? 5 months lab.
He definitely is, and this is the right time. Control the diet. Labs have a tendency to put on weight. We don't want them to be in pain later on in life with the joint issues, breathing issues. So please, weight control is important. Of course, a 5-month-old Labrador, I would not say make him do a lot of exercise. His bones are growing now. Do not put a lot of stress on the bones. Uh, Diet is going to be the most important factor in controlling this puppy's weight. So obviously she has been overfeeding the puppy.
Sir, if a pet is an adult and if an adult pet is obese, we can go for a low calorie diet. We can increase exercises. So, but if a puppy is obese, what are the precautions we can take?
See, generally the mistake that we do is as far as the volume of the food is concerned. What happens is that, let us say, on a dog food packet, they write give 250 grams or 2 cups. A cup could be this size, a cup could be this size. There's a lot of variation. Many times the instructions on the packets are not being followed. I always tell, look, take any cup, weigh the cup, fill up the dog food into them, see the difference. That look, this cup holds, let us say, 120 grams. Then you get a fair amount of an idea. Otherwise, you're just shooting in the dark and probably just overfeeding your doggy while you're thinking that, well, I'm giving the right amount of food. So that is as far as commercial diets are concerned. Now, the other home cooked diets, probably she may be feeding a lot of carbs to the doggy, and those carbs are getting converted into the body fat. So the volume of the food and instructions as far as the commercial diets are concerned. And here I think the companies should provide a cup giving the details of,
Measuring cups.
yes, the measuring cups, because many times the clients do not get the cups and there is a mistake happening out there.
Usually, during my initial days of practice, so when I when I represent some dog food company, every time a pet parent asks me a question, that the question is, I used to give 3 kilo rice to my pet. Okay, he
Mhm.
used to eat 3 kilo rice or a meal every day. But
Mhm.
when I give a dry food, you are saying that you have to give only 400 grams.
Mhm.
How could it? My pet will feel hungry, and that's why he is looking at me every time whenever I have my meals.
Okay. See, unfortunately, we think in terms of volumes. We should think in terms of nutrition available in that volume or in this volume. You could have a very nutritious diet, but it need not be very elaborate, need not have a large quantity, right? So the nutrition level, you have certain dog food, like for example, puppy food. The nutritional value is definitely more than what is required for a geriatric breed.
Yes, yes.
100 grams of this would be far more nutritious than 100 grams of the geriatric diet. So I think one will have to probably think in terms of the nutritional values in each of the food. The rice is not a balanced diet. Of course, he must be giving rice with certain things, but lower quantity does not mean that he's starving his doggy. Probably he's giving good amount of nutrition. The doggy needs X amount of nutrition. It can be met with even a smaller concentrated uh, pet food. Yeah.
Yes. So we will take up a question from Mrs. Dayal. She is asking, what would be the best food for obesity? would you prefer dog food or a homemade food? And what are the best choices for home food?
See, as far as the preference of the food is concerned, well, commercial diets are available. You don't have to cook them. They can easily be given. Now, let's say, supposing you are a working person, husband, wife are working, they don't have time to cook, then commercial diets are a viable feature. If you're going to give home cooked diet, then of course you will have to cut down on the carbohydrates in the diet so as to achieve the target of weight control. Now, best diets, what I would recommend as far as home cooked is concerned, I tell people that look, if you want to give a home cooked diet, take a pressure cooker, you put three seasonal vegetables in that, you know, probably one or two dals in that, chicken in that, and a small quantity of rice or porridge in that, a very small quantity. Give that twice a day, no extra tidbits. And many dogs achieve the right weight control with that. But then this may not be practical option for a working couple. So you have to go back to the commercial diets. But again, follow the instructions on the pack.
Yes. Sir, when we talk about complications of obesity, mostly the joint issues, diabetes are these are the complications due to obesity. In recent days, whenever we used to visit a hospital or a vet clinic, we come to know that the diabetic number of diabetes in pets it's on a high it is rising actually.
I think
So
it's been diagnosed these
yeah,
days.
that might be a reason, sir.
Yeah.
So my question is, sir, as a pet parent, what should be the care they should have to give it to their pets, especially nutritional, because diabetes is something related to nutrition. So how should they care? What type of foods they can give it for a diabetic pet, especially dogs and cats?
See, pretty simple and easy, you know. What happens in individual who has got diabetes is not able to convert the carbohydrates, sugars, uh, is not able to utilize. So you give insulin for the insulin to carry the carbohydrate molecule into the cell. It's not utilizing it properly. So you have to reduce the blood sugar level. Blood sugar level can be reduced by two methods. One is by your diet control. Diet would mean carbohydrate control, and other one would be the insulin. So you just have these two options, and of course, exercise is not to be forgotten. Exercise goes hand in glove with a diabetic individual if you're targeting blood sugar level control and weight control. So the carbs have to come down.
Okay. So we are nearing to the end of the session, sir. We will take up a last question, and that is from Das. So he is saying, "Hi, Dr. Rana. Great hearing you. I have a Rottweiler puppy, 3.5 months old. His body weight is 20 kg. He is on pet food. Is he overweight or okay?"
3.5 months, 20 kgs. Run your hand on the ribs of the puppy. I'm sure you're not going to be feeling the ribs. If you do not feel the ribs, he is obese. You have to cut down on his diet. You can't give him a lot of exercise. He's just 3.5 months.
So
You
he has added, how
uh,
good is NND pumpkin, lamb and blueberry,
mhm.
puppy medium and maxi versus Royal Canin giant puppy diet? Can I keep my pet only on pet food? So I think we can, he's
Yes,
asking, can he keep his pet only on pet food?
Hmm. I think this question you should be answering because you have to be more with the commercial
So,
diet.
see, all diets they are made after a lot of research. So every diet is better. Okay. So, but I can tell you that lamb product, especially NND pumpkin lamb and blueberry product, is a very good, amazing product. So I can tell you the benefit of pumpkin. So pumpkin, it maintains the low glycemic index and is also rich in fibers, both soluble and insoluble fiber. It is good for an dog who has a tendency to put overweight or become obese. And apart from this, I will also add that pumpkin is a hypocaloric diet. Even 100 grams of pumpkin will only add upon 26 kilocalories. And second thing, lamb is a very good source of protein, and lamb is good for sensitive stomachs, and it also contains high amount of carnitine, which is very important to burn energy, especially fat. So definitely NND pumpkin, lamb and blueberry is a very good product for your pet. Now you can say, sir. He's
Yeah,
asking, can I keep my pet only on pet food?
you know, I heard you rightly, and it is true. I've been to one of the companies which manufactures the dog food, and I was amazed to see the ingredients, the quality of ingredients. They were amazing, and I don't see a reason why we should doubt the pet food as such. We can afford it. Well, I think it's a nice balanced diet. You have a lot of scientists, nutritionists who are working on this, and the quality control is amazing. The end product is as per the requirement of a particular condition, let's say diabetes, obesity, bone disorders, etc., etc. You get a number of these. They have been made after a lot of research, after a lot of hard work. You and me are not pet nutritionists. You know, we don't know the finer points in this, and obviously a layman would have absolutely no idea. One would rely on the internet, and one could make big errors in those. So why uh, discover or reinvent the wheel again and again? It just doesn't make sense. So somebody has done his job. They found a good food. Probably people should use that.
Yes. So that was a nice interacting session, sir. So you have answered most of our answers. Sorry, viewers, we couldn't take up 100% of the questions. So, but we will try to reach you after the session. So either on Facebook or on Instagram. Sir, as a takeaway message, I just
Mm.
want to give you a small tip.
Mhm.
What are the important things as a pet parent they should remember on the nutritional aspect and as per how to burn the energy of a obese pet? This is just a takeaway message.
Okay. Very important. Do not give extra tidbits. Number one, do not associate your love with the pet and food and treats. This is a total no-no. Do not pamper your pet with extra treats. I've seen a lot of dogs getting upset tummies, refusing their meals, but they want only treats. So I don't think that's a good idea at all. And of course, good physical activities, which a pet needs for a normal, healthy lifestyle. So these are the important things that they should take away. That look,
Okay.
take care of the diet, is putting on weight, rule out any medical causes, take care of the dietary causes, give good exercise, and the pet will be healthy. We don't want a pet in old age to be limping or not being mobile at all. That would be the worst thing to have when we have an old, obese dog at home. It's very painful. And we as doctors at that particular stage can't do much because the damage has already been done. The bones do not come back to normal shape. Once osteoarthritis sets in, it's only going to be a downward trend. So weight control is very important as far as this is concerned.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for be our guest, and thank you for answering our questions as well as the doubts which were raised by our pet parents. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Viewers,
you.
we will meet you again in an extraordinary session. We will be discussing another aspect of nutrition and importance of nutrition in pets. Till that time, thank you and good night. Good evening. Sorry. Bye.
Bye bye.